Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are going to focus in on holidays and handling a narcissistic individual in your family. It's become quite evident to me and very clear that the holidays with their heightened emotion, the season of giving, the season of joy, it really becomes distorted. It really becomes really an ego parade oftentimes when you are dealing with a narcissist individual. And you can never seem to give enough, please them enough. It's difficult to meet their expectations because they have such a cycle of resistance to empathy and seeing from really where you're coming from and really becoming devoid of gratitude, which really this season to me is what it's all about. And I want to give a quick shout out. Someone asked about what kind of glasses I wear, and these are by Geoffrey Beene, Beene. So Geoffrey with a Geoffrey. So thank you for the compliment on the glasses, and I just wanted to also let you know that I appreciate your feedback. I've received a lot of great compliments, comments through my messages, my emails as well, and I really want to be a strong source of support for you here moving forward. And especially I want to focus in right now on the advent of the holidays with a narcissist type individual and how it can be really devoid of a human element. It can become very much about the external, the gifts, the money, one-upping somebody. It really becomes distorted. And when you really think about the holiday season, it is meant to be experienced with a sense of joy, a sense of peace, a sense of love, a sort of surrender to the magnificent, a surrendering to the awesome. People are really in their higher natures, which is joy, which is giving, which is benevolence, which is patience. And love is kind, love is patient. And these are really universal truths no matter what language that you speak. And this is not about really becoming about any religiosity or that sort of affiliation. We're talking about holidays in general. And, when we celebrate with our family, we celebrate at our workplace, we celebrate with close others. It's really about a feel-good environment. And it's about being supportive, loving. It's letting all the other things go. The hostility, the anger, the rage. It's about embracing people for who they are and where they're at in that moment. And I find that it's very difficult for a lot of people and their families during this time of year. So I've received a lot of correspondences, and as well as within my consultations, it's becoming very clear that people need some real tools to how to handle narcissists during this time of year, because it's really almost like a narcissist playground when you talk about gift giving and parties and different events and how how it bodes for one person to have their traditions this way and expectations are so high, and everyone's kind of watching the other, and it can become very anxiety producing. So I want to really give you some tools to how to really get a focus, get clear, and how to celebrate this season your own way. And when it's your own way, you very much have to understand that when you realize that what joy, peace, love, and really embracing with the holidays, it is about connecting to your higher self. It's about realizing that there's a power greater than you, that there's something magnificent in the coming of salvation in your life. And it's about having that gratitude. And gratitude, when you live and give yourself a chance to experience gratitude and the miraculous and the inspirational, you realize you begin to get that humble perspective, which is one of humility, which is one of really realizing your limits and your boundaries. And it's very much understanding that it's okay to have boundaries. You really can't have joy without boundaries. You can't have love without having humility. you can't really experience the heightened sense of peace, which is a higher vibration, which is really embracing all that life has to offer and realizing that there's something more to you. And that when you surrender that, and you surrender the pain, the anxiety, and the pressure that you've put on yourself, you're able to experience awe. You're able to experience inspiration. You're able to embrace others regardless of their status in life, their position in life, their skin color, their religion. When you realize that there really is a bigger connection in life. And I really feel that, as we go into 2017 and the information age is becoming more and more clear, more and more relevant, that we're all connected, and it's each other's piece, it's each other's talent, it's each other's input, which is so valuable, which is so validated. So it's very important to realize that it's very important to, at this time, if you're in a family which has gotten into a very toxic habit, very indelible, very deep grooves of relating to each other, knee-jerk reactions without a state of really conscious awareness, where you always treat your brother this way, you always treat your sister this way. And it's become, something that has become automatic or habitual. And if this habit has become toxic, which means it's, there's a set groove, there's a set pattern. It's kind of like, that train that you see underneath the Christmas tree. Everybody's on this track, but sometimes that track leads to joy. Sometimes the track leads to a toxicity, a lack of gratitude. In other words, it's all about the gifts. People don't appreciate really what they have. They tend to take advantage. And so if you feel that you're caught up in this habitual cycle, where there's a devoid of gratitude, there's a devoid of that experience of the awe, the miraculous, the really expansive nature that love and peace and joy, which really holidays are all about. It's about letting go of the need to do a lot of work. It's about receiving. And it's about really letting things unfold in their natural, organic way. It's about taking time to stop and reflect. It's about taking time to stop and really sort of experience, not sort of experience, fully experience the state of awe, the magnificent, and take it all in. So, if you can release these toxic habits, that are part of narcissistic family systems. So when I say let go of the habits, I mean that sort of experience where people are set in their particular relational ways, almost very much like a corporation, where you have a CEO, you have a matriarchy or hierarchy, and you've got the parents sitting at the top, and then you have the siblings, and you have the nieces, and it's really set up almost in like a pyramid manner. And everyone is expected to, treat the parents this way, and then the siblings are treated another way, the nieces another way. So if you can realize that there needs to perhaps be a shift of authority in the family, and if the authority has become very belittling, very shaming, not very kind, very insultory, very much related into almost a bigotry of a sibling, where you have a prejudice against them for the way that they are, the person that they are, the ways that they've behaved in the past. Part of emotional maturity is really just learning to let this go. And emotional maturity is when we learn a higher consciousness, when we learn different tools, we learn different perceptions, and we learn really where our strength exists. And your strength exists in a positive, healthy perception. One that is not really set in a sort of role that has been created for you by a narcissist or a psychopathic individual, where they have basically created a role or a indelible position for you, very much like an employer. An employer might say, well, we have you here as the marketing manager, but yet, you have other skills, you have other roles that you can fulfill. A family is very much like the same way. You are the scapegoat. That is what you've signed up for. That's what you've applied for. That's your position. You are the one who always does the dishes. You are the one who always has Christmas. You are you are the one who always gives the greatest gifts, yet you don't ever get acknowledged for who you are. So you find that these roles become very rigid and inflexible. So what I want to encourage you to do today is to realize that there's nothing more important than your soulful connection to celebrating your holiday season and your place within your family. And when I say soulful, I mean true, authentic, in your own way, in your own style. And do this in a manner that is not one of overwhelm, obligation. Too much when we get caught up in the holidays, things catch our eye. We need to buy this, we need to purchase that. Yes, there's a lot of great things that you can do for gifts, and it's expressive of your love. And likewise, you should be able to receive that. But be very, very careful to avoid the overwhelm, the over-obligation that is encouraged by narcissistic individuals, where you are giving too much, over-giving, annihilating your boundaries, your limits, your discipline for spending, for your time, for your energy, for the amount of parties that you attend or parties that you throw. It's okay to say no. You should have absolutely no shame and no apologies for who you are, the gifts that you give, and really being able to have the power to change up your traditions, how you present yourself at your family gatherings. You've been insulted because you tend to dress up and celebrate in a certain way, and they want to take the attention off of you. And yet, they're trying to cramp your style. Realize when this is happening, and you have every right. It's a reclaiming of your right to have a connection to life, a connection to family, a connection to celebrating the holidays in a peaceful manner. So I want to give you some tools to how to establish peace when there's a lot of toxic overwhelm. Number one, realize there is nothing, nobody, no event, no situation that is more important than you, the cherishing of your faith, the cherishing of your belief in yourself, your life, and having that time to reflect in your own special manner. There's nothing that should overtake that. If you find yourself overwhelmed, over-obligated, over-giving, you can't say no. People are creating this situation where they want to know what big things you've done, what great things you've done. There's a lot of power in the very small strides and changes that you've made, and they're going to try to underplay that. So do not feel like you have to answer and get caught up in this cycle with these people. When you are engaged with a narcissist, realize that they are constantly and unequivocally going to try to be the CEO of your life, the chief executive officer of your role of reflecting who you are. And realize that you are the CEO of your life. You are the founder. You are the entrepreneur, if you will, of your own emotions. You are the driver. You are at the helm of the carriage. You are the one that is taking in and celebrating the holidays in your own way. So I would encourage you to break the mold. Break out of those self-limiting restrictive roles that the family has put you into, and allow yourself to indulge in peaceful exploration, whether it's setting aside, we talk about the recovery date, taking 2 weeks every month, 2 hours every week to go out and really sort of speak to and cuddle your wounded inner self that's been toxically treated by this narcissist or psychopathic individual, and take out that wounded self and allow yourself to become nurtured, embraced, and reflected for the wonderful and incredible person that you are. That reflection, that mirroring, which they have hitherto not provided you. Allow yourself to indulge in experiences where you can perceive this, feel this, and receive this validation. Whether it's going to a beautiful church, whether it's taking a country drive, a lot of these things that can get you out of your environment, get you out of the habitual toxic track that we're saying here, that train track that a toxic family can have you on, where they're painting you into a role. Break the role, break the mold. Get out of that sort of habitual setting and reaction, and give yourself the gift of celebrating a holiday in your own way that is true to your heart, true to your being center, and in a way that really gives you a focus in being able to receive. Because if you're over obligating yourself, if you're answering to a chief executive narcissist, you need to say that you need to, I don't want to say write them off, but write off the abuse. Realize that it's no longer important for you to habituate them in the same way. Habituate, which means coming out of rage, reacting. You very, very, very much do not want to have these sort of insinuating conversations with them and getting into wow. I just want to say the toxic discussions where you're trying to rectify and remedy your past with the people who have hurt you. Realize that the healing of the narcissistic wound, it has to come from within you, the tools that you use, and then furthermore, the reaching out that you do from your authentic center that is going to give you that empowerment, that spark, that flame to life, and really have you embrace with that sort of unity that really celebrating the holidays is all about. So you need to take them off your list for a moment. Take responding, take the need to settle the score with these narcissist people and stop going over the need to explain and justify to them how hurt you've been by them, because the past is the past. You need to come to a sense of presence within yourself in your life, and furthermore, look to the future. Get yourself a calendar, 2017. Get yourself a really amazing calendar. Get yourself an amazing scheduling book also. If you usually don't have a lot of appointments, get yourself a calendar anyway. I have one here in my office. It is, you can get a day-by-day planner and just begin scheduling things for you to get a new vision of yourself, especially moving forward. Find trips that you can take, outings that you can take, movies that you can watch, projects you can do for yourself. Something very, very selfish that you have hitherto have been holding back on, controlled by the fear, obligation, and guilt that narcissists will keep you stuck in that role. Fire the chief, narcissist officer in your life. Don't be mad at them. As I was, discussing with a client earlier, these people are beside themselves. They can't help themselves. They can't help the pathological lies that they tell. They can't stop themselves from the hostility that they express. They can't stop the fact that they're serving the ego versus the source of gratitude and authentic humility and humbleness. And until these people can humble themselves and come out of that drastic ego state, they're going to perpetually, live that facade, live that mask. And they're really not going to have a lot of happiness. They're not going to have a lot of gratitude. They're not going to have a lot of peace. It's going to run them ragged. And so it's very important to realize that you come from a state of humility. Humility is a state of knowing that I give up. I'm not doing this on my own. I am now embracing and allowing life to come to me and guide me and really sort of receive a higher nature hitherto than what I have been living from previously. Getting caught up with toxic people who blame, shame, criticize, condemn, make you feel like you're never good enough, you can't meet their expectations. You're living from their standards versus your own. You need to come to that sense of humility and humbleness within yourself. Allow yourself to get into that meditative state where you are humble enough to say, God, my higher power, my Archangel Michael, my Archangel Raphael, those higher beings, those higher entities which I know exist in life, which hitherto are seen or unseen, I call on you to have me embrace this humbleness and this humility in life, and please give me the gratitude that I live with through all my waking hours and through my sleep. Have me exist in this gratitude for all that I have all that I have been and all that I will ever be. And please allow me to live and express this gratitude in everything that I do, in the gifts that I give, the gifts that I receive, and furthermore in the moments that I cherish, with looking onto the beauty and the emotional richness and grandeur in life which you have given me. And furthermore, help me to cultivate this in my future moving forward. And have me rock my world, gratitude. Give me a chance to experience the awe. Life, please give me the chance to experience the inspiration, to experience the amazement of really the miraculous coming together in pleasant surprises of life. And please save me from the habitual toxic cycle that has hitherto been a dynamic within my family, and allow me to release them in love and light. I'm now letting them go, and it's not my job to judge. It's not my job to save them. It's not my job to have be responsible for their evolution. All I can do is call forth my own best, and my own best is going to come from a state of humility, humbleness, and embracing of my own talents and my own uniqueness, because that's what life embraces about me. And those who make me feel shame, those who make me feel less than, those who make me feel like I don't live up, I'm letting them go, and I'm releasing them in love and light. And I'm now attending to and giving to myself and embracing all that I love about life. And I'm giving myself the opportunity to experience this emotionally, and allowing this gratitude and humility and humbleness to fill my mind, body, and spirit. And when you can come to that emotional state, when you can come to that emotional being and realize that true happiness comes from within, it's not connected to any sort of object. It might make you temporarily happy to have a purchase. It might make you temporarily happy to have a certain kind of food. It might make you happy, temporarily to, find, any sort of out. I'm drawing for words here. It might make you temporarily experience a temporary pleasure, a momentary pleasure to find things. And I mean this externally, from people to objects to being physical, materialistic. All those things are temporary pleasure, but realize that true happiness is an internal state. And happiness oftentimes is thought to be this, wow, you have to be like living on top of the world. Realize that happiness is an internal peace and a consistent stability. That is what really perpetuates happiness here. And I know that this is getting to be a very long documentary, but I really want you to understand a lot of very important and valuable information here. And now that I have a tripod, I have a lot more liberty, and I'm not just holding the camera here. And I hope to, be able to do a lot more more interactive type of educational pieces here. But I really, really encourage you to detach from the toxic overwhelm, the toxic hostility, pleasing people, overspending, overindulging, all these things that we're told are the ways to live our best life, which is with indiscipline, with overgiving, with violating of our boundaries, which can make people sick and then make people, gain a lot of weight, and then they're unhappy in the new year. Realize that you have the power to come from that state of humility, humbleness, and appreciation for life. It's not just all about the gifts. It's about your connection and fulfillment of your goals, and being able to reflect and move forward. And so we're going to be talking here not only about the pathologies, but we're going to talk about the tools necessary to moving on for a very happy and successful life moving forward. And when I talk about the tools, these are things you actually have to apply and work on a consistent basis. So one thing I really want you to do is get yourself a recovery gift, something that is meaningful to you. It can be wearing a cross. It can be wearing a holiday sweater. It can be, having something which is like, I love this. It's a rose quartz stone. But when I hold on to this, it absorbs, your body heat. It's very smooth, and it has a very sort of loving, gentle energy to it. So whether it's a gift that you get for yourself, something that reminds you of love, something that reminds you of peace, something that reminds you that there's more to life than pleasing a narcissist. If you can find yourself a recovery gift, and I know that this is recapping a lot of stuff that we've talked about here, but repetition is key to learning. So you need to learn this and then learn it on a deeper level. Get yourself a recovery gift, something that really helps you center. And when we talk about your solar plexus, centering is your solar plexus is in your gut, and then your grounding chakras are in your pelvis, really the seat of your spine. And, moving all the way up, you have energies all throughout your body. So you really want to allow the positive energy to flow through your entire body, and realize that your posture should be coming from one of peace, joy, and humbleness. It should not be reacting where you're, always, running around, running yourself ragged. You're going to run out the adrenals. You're going to get exhausted. I know it's important to have drive and stamina on these things, but be very careful of, that fatigue and things that can occur from really sort of giving too much. Realize that there's something important that you need to have, and that you need to have a personal connection to how you celebrate the holiday. And if it means detaching from the narcissist abuser, the psychopathic abuser, by all means, give yourself permission to do this. If you have suffered enough, if you have suffered time and time again, and you're now drawing the line, and you have to be declarative. You have to declare, I am done, and I am committed to moving forward. I have a commitment to myself. I have a commitment to my health. And making that commitment, which is giving an oath, a promise to yourself, a commitment which you completely surrender, you completely say, I am done. I'm stopping it now, or it's going to be stopped for me, basically. I'm stopping the abuse. I'm stopping the rage. I'm no longer allowing this rage to exist within me. I'm letting it go. I don't want to live my life this way. I've hurt enough. I've suffered enough. And now I'm individuating. I'm becoming self-dependent, where I depend on myself in my own personal strength, that I know the unique talent that I have. And I'm now taking a moment to reflect on all the times that I've been there for people. And hitherto, I know that this is the person that I am, and this can never be taken away from me, and this quality cannot be bought or sold. I cannot be bought by my family. I cannot be, I am priceless in this respect, and I'm always going to remember this. And that realize that the most cherished times you've had are times when you've experienced the awe, when you've experienced your talent of uniqueness, when you've existed in faith and trust, and you've allowed your life to move forward on those finer emotions. And you've realized that you've had that trust within yourself. But it's that trust, though, that the narcissist seeks to take away from you and rob you of when they go through much of that condescending, belittling behavior, the shaming, the over-obligation, the sort of disrespect with not allowing you to communicate or tell your story. So please take a moment to unplug from the habitual cycles, create a new tradition that you are personally connected to, that you personally fill the well within, and make a commitment right now. I'm committed to filling the well with beauty in my life. I'm going to take myself on a country drive. I'm going to go someplace where I've never been before. I'm going to go and see some beautiful scenery, and I'm going to take it all in. And I'm going to follow a sort of a guided retreat in my own special way. I'm going to go to a special bookstore, or I'm going to go to a special fabric store, or I'm going to go to a paint store. Something that is just strictly for me. I'm not going to over-obligate myself to others. I know that leads to lack of peace, lack of harmony, and it leads to disease within my body. And the time is now. I'm now embracing and celebrating the holidays in the way that I deem my strongest, and really embracing of my true spiritual nature, because that's in essence what it's all about. Do not be distracted. Do not be dismayed by a lot of the other toxic messages that you receive from others. Find a way to detach, put on pleasant music for yourself, get into something cozy, comfortable, buy yourself a really fluffy pair of pants, like some fleece pants if you're living in cold areas. Get yourself, something really comfortable. Get yourself a hot chocolate. Get yourself a hot tea. Get on some music for yourself, light some candles, and really embrace and really focus in and get centered and focus on a true peaceful setting and vision of yourself and what makes you happy in the life moving forward. And really get a chance to, there's so much here, get yourself a chance to really itemize and really work on that recovery journal. Things that you really see for your future, things that you really want to engage in and develop for yourself. I talk very much incessantly about having a vision board, creating images, getting a magazine, whether you're drawing the pictures out for yourself or cutting them out for a magazine, either of things you want to have, things you want to be, places you want to go, goals that you want to accomplish. Realize that the subconscious mind registers an image more so than it does words. So if you can get yourself a vision board, get a vision board and start to glue pictures that will refresh your mind of what you want, and keep those constantly in front of you and know that you're going to fulfill these. It's a very, very effective and miraculous tool, that of having a vision board, things that you want to accomplish. I've been able to accomplish incredible things in my life with the use of a vision board and knowing that I had this faith that there was something greater than myself that was going to bring it to me. And it was really in that commitment. It was in making that promise to myself that I'm going to fulfill these no matter what it takes. And I was able to accomplish so much professionally and so much personally with a vision board. So I would encourage you to take that recovery date for yourself. Find a special way for you to embrace the holidays. Experience the sense of wonder going for a walk, a drive, making a batch of cookies, making a batch of eggnog, getting some decorations up for yourself, and really continuing to radiate that love and light, even if it means not picking up the phone to the narcissist, not going to a gathering where these toxic people are going to be present and keeping you unhappy and in that lower state where they're manipulating and controlling you through insults, body language, etc. Give yourself a chance to say no. Say no to the toxicity and embracing instead really what happiness and love is all about, and that is peace within your own personal prosperity, which comes from spiritual prosperity as well, which is an internal gift, an internal feeling and knowing, which I want you to really begin to resonate and focus in on some of our future videos that we have coming up in here. Peace and harmony with you here